Joseph and the coat of many colors. A long, long time ago, there lived a young man named Joseph. He was one of 12 sons of a man named Jacob, who was also called Israel. Joseph was special to his father. Jacob loved him dearly and gave him a beautiful coat of many colors. It shimmered and shined bright reds, blues, yellows, and greens. It wasn't just a coat, it was a gift that showed how much Jacob loved him. But Joseph's brothers didn't feel the same way. They grew jealous. "Why does father love Joseph more than us?" they grumbled. Their jealousy grew until it turned into anger. To make things worse, Joseph began to have dreams strange. Wonderful dreams that showed him ruling over his family one day. In one dream, he and his brothers were tying bundles of grain in the field, and all their bundles bowed down to his. In another, the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed down to him. When Joseph told his family, his brothers were furious. "You think you're going to rule over us?" they shouted. Even Jacob was puzzled, but deep down, he wondered if those dreams might mean something from God. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers as they watched the sheep far away in the fields. When they saw him coming in his colorful coat, their anger returned. "Here comes the dreamer," they said. "Let's get rid of him." They tore off his beautiful coat and threw him into a deep pit. Later, when a group of travelers passed by on their way to Egypt, the brothers sold Joseph as a slave for 20 pieces of silver. They took Joseph's coat, dipped it in goat's blood, and brought it to their father. Jacob was heartbroken. "My son is gone," he cried. "A wild animal must have killed him." But Joseph wasn't gone. He was on his way to Egypt. Joseph in Egypt. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to a man named Potiphar, who worked for Pharaoh, the king. Joseph worked hard and trusted God. Everything Joseph touched seemed to succeed because God was with him. But one day, Joseph was falsely accused of something he didn't do and was thrown into prison. Even there, Joseph stayed faithful. He helped other prisoners, including Pharaoh's cupbearer, by interpreting their dreams. Later, Pharaoh himself had 2 strange dreams, one about 7 fat cows and 7 thin cows, and another about 7 healthy heads of grain and 7 dried up ones. No one could explain them until someone remembered Joseph. Joseph was brought before Pharaoh. "I can't interpret dreams," Joseph said, "but God can." God showed Joseph what the dreams meant. Egypt would have 7 good years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine. Pharaoh was amazed. He said, "Can we find anyone like this man? One in whom is the Spirit of God?" Genesis 41-38. Pharaoh made Joseph second in command over all Egypt. Joseph stored food during the good years, so the people would have enough to eat during the famine. Joseph's brothers return. When the famine came, it reached even Joseph's family back home. Jacob sent his sons to Egypt to buy grain. They bowed before the ruler of the land, not realizing it was Joseph, the brother they had betrayed so long ago. Joseph recognized them right away, but he didn't say who he was. He wanted to see if they had changed. After several tests, he saw that their hearts were different. They were sorry for what they had done. Finally, Joseph couldn't hold back his tears any longer. He cried out, "I am Joseph, your brother." His brothers were shocked and afraid. But Joseph said something beautiful. "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good to save many lives." Genesis 50-20. Joseph forgave his brothers completely. He hugged them, cried with them, and invited them and their father, Jacob, to live safely in Egypt, where there was plenty of food. Years later, when Jacob saw Joseph again, his heart overflowed with joy. The family was whole once more. Joseph's story reminds us that even when life is unfair or painful, God always has a plan. Joseph went from a pit to a palace, from pain to purpose. God turned every hard moment into something good. When things go wrong, and we don't understand why, we can remember, God is still writing our story.